writer and the broadcaster Stephen Fry is one of the most popular cultural figures in the country. He's also spoken openly about his own struggle with depression, and he is president of Mind. We're going through a time which is, for a lot of people, frankly, terrifying, and which puts a particular burden on people told to self-isolate by themselves. Stephen joins me now from his home in Norfolk. Stephen Fry, welcome. How are you coping? How are you managing out there in Norfolk?
Well, very well. Very lucky to be here. There's fresh air, and we're staying at home, of course, and just hunkered down like everybody else. It's a tricky time for everybody, and I'm fully aware of how lucky I am to have a house in the country and to be safe. And it's not easy for anybody. The most important thing to remember is nobody's an expert. And I suppose if there's a message to be had, and I'm not speaking as a health professional, obviously a mental health professional or anything else, but in my capacity, such as it is, as president of Mind, one of the things that's very clear is that there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of confusion, and a lot of loneliness. And these are all very powerful triggers for other mental health episodes.
Well, I would like to get the Stephen Fry advice on some of these. So what about people who look at this huge array? They may be watching this programme or other programmes, news bulletins, reading newspapers, and it is a wall of terror coming towards them, and they feel they can't cope with what is, after all, the news. What do? Do you just simply turn it all
off? Personally, I do, yes. I think one of the things to be positive about is that self-isolation and being alone either as a family or a couple or in whatever group you are, or literally solitary, is that you have to redefine your sense of time. Time suddenly alters completely in these situations. And I think a very important idea is to draw up some sort of timetable, if you like. It can be a physical thing, it can be on the wall, it can be on a blackboard or just on a piece of paper. You can take more time to do everything, but you can also turn off the notifications on your phones and tablets and other devices so that you're not bombarded by headlines. Believe me, if anything important, really important happens, you'll find out about it. Decide on a time to look in at the news, maybe, I don't know, 11 in the morning and then 3 in the afternoon, or for one of the press conferences, and last thing at night if you want to. But there's so much noise. Everybody wants to have a point of view. Everybody wants either to show how splendid they are or to show how awful the world is, and people want to paint a picture of an apocalypse. But the fact is, if you listen to the scientific advisors, they almost always begin every sentence with, we think, it's possible, maybe, perhaps, we don't know, but. That's how experts talk, people who really understand it.
So we have to live with uncertainty. We all have to get to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's anxious making to some extent, but what it allows you to do is to blank out all those people who claim to know what's going on. All those people who said there's going to be the army in London in 2 days, people who say, I've got a friend who works in government who ... It's always nonsense. And it proliferates online, and it's a kind of virus in itself. Anxiety and stress are almost as virulent as this awful coronavirus. And so if people just if they can calm down by taking a deep breath and allowing time to take on a different dimension, taking more time to do everything, as I say, whether it's cleaning your teeth in the morning, laying your clothes out, just making a process of it. And then obviously go online, mind.org.uk. We have a list of things that address some of the most obvious and common features that alarm people to do with their future and their medication and all the other things that concern them.
And a lot of people are self-isolating or about to self-isolate and simply wonder how to get through the day. They probably have an image of Stephen Fry leafing out some Greek myths in the original Greek and possibly working his way through Wagner. What advice do you have for those of us who are not that way inclined? I mean, Voltaire said, cultivate your gardens. If you've got a garden, it seems a good thing to be doing. What do you think?
Certainly, yes, and even if it's just a question of a few pot plants and bulbs, if you can, inside. But yeah, no, actually, I'm reading P.G. Wodehouse and Agatha Christie at the moment. That seems to me somehow to speak to my soul. And I've gone online to reacquaint myself with calligraphy. You can go, YouTube and various other sources have people who will, for free, teach you how to shape letters, and you can slowly get out a pen or pencil and do things like that.
Learn a language?
And of course, a language, Esperanto, I'm thinking of just for fun. But it is, nothing's in a hurry, and cooking, and so even cooking the smallest thing now, I prep it. I put little pots, and I do the garlic in one little pot, just like a TV chef. It's preposterous, but it just slows my life down and stops me getting too anxious or too nervous.
Even in a slowed down world, I'm afraid we have run out of time. Stephen Fry, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now then, a look at what's coming up on